But something that stuck with me was someone said we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Some entrepreneur said something like that, yeah.
We all have the same 24 hours. It's just about how bad you want to achieve that goal. I think we need to solidify off the bat. What are some tips?
That is the biggest tip. Your barrier to entry for anything that you're trying to prioritize needs to be low. Point blank, period. If it, like for instance, we said life, family, or love, family, and the gym, right? Or nutrition. The gym, quick example. If you have a gym that's close, that's an easier barrier to entry versus a gym that's 40 minutes away. What's the likelihood of you getting up every morning or whenever you're going to go and actually going frequently enough? You and your partner, getting closer together, prioritizing that. You already spend time with each other every evening, right? Watching TV. So repurposing that time period and saying, hey, instead of watching TV, let's cook something together. Let's read something and then discuss how we both feel together about what we read. Let's meditate together. The barrier to entry is low because you're already spending that time with each other. And then the family thing is easy as well. I mean, that's just how I look at it. That's my opinion. That's my tip. But what would you say would be the number one tip to how to prioritize those things? Because that would be my number one tip.
I feel that it's about finding those little times that you can enter these things in. For instance, at lunchtime, going to the gym.
Yeah.
If lunchtime isn't an option, going back to that whole mom guilt thing, right? Do a Saturday and Sunday. Have it so that your workout plan is 3 to 4 days a week. And so 2 of those days are going to be on Saturday and Sunday. Right off the bat, you're going to take care of 2 days and not have the guilt of not being able to spend time with your children. Now, the other 2 days during the week, it's easier on for your guilt. If you're like,
Got all day.
I have all day.
Yeah,
and then
day.
those other 2 days, it's like, okay, well, it's not 5 days a week. It's only 2 days and I deserve it.
Yeah.
You do deserve it.
Yeah.
Because what happens is moms, especially with moms, a lot of moms will start to forget about their needs. Themselves. And they don't realize that that's what's the most important. Like, you have to fill your cup first before you can fill your cup in relationships, before you can fill your cup with your family, even with your job. You'll get burned out if you don't fill your own cup. And that will mean being the best you possibly can, whether that be eating right, fitness, whatever the case may be.
So your biggest advice is basically time blocking. Like, you have to be able to look at your entire day, week, whatever the case may be, find those gaps and fill those gaps with what you can.
Time blocking is a good point. And I'll always remember, I don't know who said it, but something that stuck with me was someone said we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
I think some entrepreneur said something like that, yeah.
We all have the same 24 hours. It's just about how bad you want to achieve that goal.
Very true.
You'll make the time.
Make the time for it. Well, the time is already there. You just gotta, like you said, time block for it. That right there is the beginning of the podcast. Like, my belief of low barrier to entry, and then your belief of time blocking, and that applies to literally everything across the board. I mean, I've already mentioned, love and fitness, and then with family. I mean, you spend time with your kids around all the time, but it's all about how you repurpose. And I wouldn't even say that barrier to entry should even be applied for your kids. There should be a different level of passion there, as well as for your relationship. So I would say that applies mostly to fitness, or any kind of habit you're trying to create. But
so you would say, I think the number one tip for all three, whether it be your job, whether it be fitness, whether it be love, family, is time blocking. Taking the time purposefully, figuring out intentionally what you want to do with your time.
But that's not always easy for people. What about people like myself, believe it or not, who are not the best planners? I'm good enough. I don't write everything down, and I actually use your help to be like, hey, well, what does the day look like? And as I look at my day, I say, oh, there's time here or there for this and that. What if someone's not good at time blocking? Then what? Like, what else could they do?
You have to practice. I mean, it's
True.
all about making or changing and having good habits. So I don't feel like anybody is really stuck. It's a matter of having the tools and applying them.
Yeah.
With any part of your life. Like if you want to achieve something in life, you're going to go to school, you're going to get the experience, you're going to keep rising.
School's not for everybody though.
I'm not saying you're going to do whatever you need to do.
You're going to do what you need to do.
Entrepreneurship, whatever. But you're going to keep learning. You're going to keep applying. It's the same thing. Like you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Nothing in life is going to come to you on a silver platter and say, okay, here it is. Just go do it. Not everyone, most people don't have that luxury. You have to make the time. You have to make the change.
Yeah. And that speaks to something that I've talked to you about, that we've been tapping into as far as the emotional mind of a potential fitness client or nutrition client, and how I've been explaining to you about how there needs to be a level of being fed up. Like once you're at that phase of being fed up, regardless of what it is, for fitness and nutrition, it's I'm fed up with the way I look. I'm fed up with walking and being out of breath. I'm fed up. Something. There needs to be a breaking point. And with that energy seems to always be a change that occurs afterwards, usually, hopefully.
Absolutely.
And it almost seems as though that level of like energy needs to be behind the decision making that you're talking about, of just going after it and doing something to create some type of change.
Which
because
is
without
my
that, you're just going to
second
be stagnant. What's that?
Second point is small changes, because I feel that if you are trying to accomplish too much all at one time, if one of those pieces fall out of place, everything else, it's a domino effect. Why do this, and this if I haven't done this? It's an all or nothing type of mentality. Whereas you embrace the small changes. Maybe you're taking your children to football practice or soccer practice, and most of those places have fields, obviously. Walk around them.
Yeah.
Do a jog. Like there are ways. Just do the small steps though, and expect small changes.
So that takes care of, in my opinion, fitness, nutrition. I'm not sure where we are on time, but how would you prioritize love, relationships?
Okay.
Is that the same? Like, do time block?
Yeah.
I mean, time blocking could apply for everything, yes, but
as in,
at the same exact time.
Impersonal as it sounds, we do that unintentionally. Intentionally, but unintentionally, we time block each other. For the simple reason is you and I both wake up well before the kids wake up. We don't have to. We choose to. We choose to do that because we choose to sit and have coffee and sit in bed for 30 to 45 minutes and just, whether it be on our phones and we're talking about things that we're reading in the news, but that's our time. Same thing in the evening. Once the kids go to bed, that becomes our time.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. We get into certain shows.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, as far as small goals, like there was a point in time where we were so busy during the week that we were like, look, like, I know you're working from home and I know you got these jobs, but on Friday, the second half of the day, or sometimes all the day, hopefully my employer's not watching, we would go and we enjoy ourselves. It would be date day Friday. That's what we called it. And it was nothing extravagant, but we went and potentially had lunch, and we went thrifting, and it didn't need to be anything over the top. It was just exclusively
what pertained to us.
Yeah, exclusive time spent between us.
And that's different for every couple.
But that was our small barrier to entry. That was like, let's just do Fridays.
Yep.
It got to the point where I was looking forward to these Fridays. It was like, the week is crazy, but like,
I know
come
on Friday
we're gonna shut it back. I was blocking off my time on my schedule.
No, I don't even think you had to block off your time because I believe your employer was on summer hours.
That's right. So yeah, Fridays we were leaving, supposed to be off early, midday. But
right.
It was the whole day for me, low key. but that speaks to the point. You got to start small, because had we committed to, Monday and then Wednesday and then Friday as well, and then like something fell apart, like it would have created so much pressure for the next time period to be
Right.
like, all right, we really have to on Wednesday because we didn't get Monday, and Friday didn't feel like we had a lot of time, so then it could somewhat fall apart. But because it was just a Friday, it was like, okay, and we built on top of that from there. Granted, our Fridays aren't the same, but that speaks to everything that has everything to do with seasons. That was our season. We did what we had to do in that season. We moved out of it. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. What about family?
I mean, family. I don't believe people have that. Oh, I would like to hope that people don't have that big of an issue.
That's what I was thinking.
With family, because let's go back to just having dinner together.
Yeah.
Just sitting and having dinner together.
Yeah. And the biggest conversation, because like you said, I don't think people have that issue when it comes to family. I think this topic has everything to do with juggling the three. Like, how do you juggle the three? How do you juggle the three and make sure that all those are hit, and that you're doing well in all those aspects? Because ultimately, I think that's everyone's goal. They want to be happy who they're with. Right. They want to be happy with themselves physically and health wise, and they want to make sure that their family is happy around them.
Well, again, going back to my situation, being a single mom and having to incorporate so many different things into my day. With my kids, we created traditions, things that they can look forward to. So, for instance, on Fridays or one day during the week, I believe it was either Thursday or Friday, we would leave a little bit earlier before school and we would go get donuts. That was our morning ritual. That was our every week morning ritual, kind of like our time blocking for Friday. And another thing we would do is pizza night. We do a pizza night.
We still do pizza night.
Yeah, pizza night, game night. Like, these are things that the kids would look forward to. Little small things. Sometimes it's not about the quantity versus like the quality, the attention you're giving.
So, I mean, what are you doing now? Like, what are we doing now?
What do we do now?
I think people want to hear what we are doing now. I love your single life, but I want to know what you're doing now.
Well, now it's a little different. Now I have moved out of corporate world and into entrepreneurship. So that makes life a little easier. Between that and all the other little things that I like to do, I'm always there for them.
Yeah.
So I think that when it pertains to kids, the kids are taken care of. I'm always there. As it pertains to you and I, we still do things. If you just don't realize what we do. For instance, every morning, what do? We still wake, have that time together. Then what happens after we drop off the kids to school?
Go have coffee.
We sit and we go have coffee, and we talk about anything we want to talk about.
Or work on business or anything.
Which is fun to us. There. Right? Like, that's not, we don't look at it as like a job. It's fun to us. We collaborate, but we're spending time together. So those are little things that we do. Fitness, I mean, you of all people should know what just happened, with your job. Having picked up so much and many, many meetings, it was making it so that it was difficult to go to the gym during the day. Normally we go to the gym during the day, get it out the way. That's what we prefer. But we had to make the adjustment. At first we made the adjustment to lunchtime. When that became hard due to your work conflicts, we moved to the evening. It's all about making adjustments.
Yeah. And for some people, change is hard. I'm speaking to myself in that manner. Change is very hard. So in a lot of these cases where you're trying to balance, love, family, and fitness, there's going to require potentially some change that's necessary. Because as the seasons change, and not necessarily talking about the weather outside, but as life seasons change, it might require you to have to adjust. So becoming very fluid with change and not necessarily accepting it, because if you're the type of person who doesn't do well with change, don't force yourself to be what you're not. What you can do is just learn in that time to how to adjust and go with the flow, and know that everything is going to get hit regardless. That's one thing that I think being with you has taught me, is that if you have these priorities, kids, us, the gym, whatever the case, regardless of how we switch it up or we shuffle it up on the table, everything's going to get hit in some kind of way, shape, or form.
Right.
And I think it requires you and me reminding each other that, hey, it's okay. We always tell each other, put yourself first, take care of you first.
Right.
Everything else is going to take care of itself. It'll all work out. And we usually have a plan, and that's usually what happens. So, yeah, I think that that pretty much is the golden rule there. Time blocking.
Have a plan.
And
make adjustments.
Make adjustments.
They're hard at first, so little steps at a time.
Mm-hmm. And make that barrier to entry very low.
Right.
So
and
that
remember,
way it's easier to accomplish.
We all have the same 24 hours.
Very true.
So there's really no excuse.
Yeah.
You have to be at that stage where you are truly fed up and you need to make that change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that comes with anything, like saving your marriage.
Yeah. And when you're fed up, you'll know you're fed up.
Right.
You'll know you're fed up.
Right, because nothing will stand in your way.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, This was another episode of Barbells and Bliss. I can always cut this out afterwards if I need to.
All right.
Make sure you all like and subscribe.
Definitely comment and tell us some more tips that you have, how you go about your busy day and make time for fitness, for love, for family. I'd love to hear what other people do that maybe we can incorporate. Also, if you found value in this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody that you think that may be going through that issue.
Yeah,
trying to find their way.
Until next time.
See you later.